No matter how many times I see floating shelves, they always kind of melt my mind. There's a ton of weight often perched on a single shelf. There's no brackets, there's no wires, there's nothing to hold them up. And from salvaged suitcases, piano keyboards, old chairs, there's a ton of items you can build them out of, as long as you take the time to master the basics. The secret to a floating shelf is that the shelf itself is hollow. Not only does it save weight, but it also allows you to hide all the structure inside. On your first attempt to do a floating shelf, save yourself the time and use wood. Start by picking out a board that's flat enough and deep enough that'll hold a book, and that's usually around 7 inches. Here at the shop, we like to use reclaimed wood because of its rustic nature. Once you've cut the boards to size, use those planks to create a hollow box. You always need to make sure and leave the backside open. By attaching a wooden cleat on the wall, then you can slide the box over that cleat, and that's where the shelf will stay. Depending on the height of the shelf, you can hide the screws by coming up from the bottom or drilling down from the top. When you view your shelf, you want to make sure you don't see where you attached it. If you're going to expect your shelf to actually stay up, the cleat needs to be attached to a stud on your wall. If not, you'll need to use an anchor to keep it in place. The scariest part with the shelf is the time you put the heavy piece on it. That's a moment of truth that you want it to stay up. If you have a very deep shelf, the cleat has to come farther out into the shelf to keep it from tilting down. Now that you've mastered the technique, you can build floating shelves out of almost anything. Just head out to a flea market or antique store or a really cool place like West End Salvage and let your mind wander. Just remember to look for pieces that can fit around a cleat and you're good to go.